Right, folks, welcome back to another video from myself, Fraser. This is our last video of these little trips we've been doing through New Zealand. It looks like the weather's unfortunately cleared up through, I'm using active sky at the moment, so that's a bit of a shame, but anyway, we'll carry on down to Westport and we'll finish off our flight in Westport. So we'll get in and we'll get this started up. And yeah, right, so I'll set up my radios, which is 12.3. And we need to turn on our batteries to do that. And just disregard this, for some reason there's a bug now. For some reason I did something, but the engines are starting up, which is a bit of a pain in the bum, so we'll just have to disregard that engine startup. So I'm just setting up the radios. We won't use FSHUD for this flight. We'll set our takeoff trims for our fuel trim for 16 degrees, so I'll set it to 30. Just scrolling down with my mouse for some reason. After you do a few flights, it takes longer to scroll down, which is an interesting little bug, I could say. And our takeoff fuel is going to be 2030, or 2300 I should say. Yeah, that'll be perfect. And our overall takeoff weight is going to be, it's going to be a nice light one today. Right, we'll get this plane fired up, eh? We'll close up all of our doors. Turn on all of the necessary lights, and we'll now start this plane up. I might as well get this open. Yeah, for some reason the engine number 2 has just been stuck in the on position. Alright, we'll turn on our fuel pumps too. I forgot to do that. Right, that's good. We'll close that down. Select aircraft power. Turn on the alternators, and we will scroll this back up to 100%. And we'll use flaps 11 for our takeoff. Release the brakes, and away we go. And I'll turn on our taxi light while we're here. And we're just going a bit over the place at the moment. I'm just trying to reset FS, trying to start up Active Sky, see if that, just refresh it, see if that brings up the weather again. Right, we'll turn on our landing lights, get that all ready. And we'll just get going, folks. We'll just speed on through and depart out of here, eh? And away we go. And lift off. Well, I'm not too sure where the cloud's gone, but it looks like Active Sky is working because our altimeters, if you push the B button, it's not the default. I think it's 10, 13, whatever it is. But and I've got winds coming up, so it must have cleared up the weather here. But it presents us with a nice departure out of Wellington here, the beautiful windy capital of New Zealand. And on a beautiful day, Wellington is definitely one of the best cities in New Zealand. And nothing beats Wellington on a good day, that's for sure. And that would be such a nice departure as well, as flying over the city. But we're going to do this right-hand turn and then track on out through the... head on out on our outbound from Wellington's VOR. Right, we'll power down the aircraft a bit. We'll select these to open. Pull the throttles just back for our climb. It's definitely a lovely day flying over Wellington, actually. Right, we will get our heading selected. We're now above that safe altitude where we turn on the autopilot. Won't do anything silly. Right, let's turn this autopilot on and get our navigation underway. And we're capturing the Wellington, the Nelson DME, so we'll select the Nelson's VOR. And 227 is our outbound when we get over Wellington. Well, we definitely are feeling the turbulence flying over these ranges here, these mountains, well, these hills, I should say. Well, I might open up FS HUD, see if they do vectoring in for this airport, because I believe they used to have a MDB approach, but it looks like they've got rid of it, so we'll just see if we can get some good old-fashioned vectoring action going. And we're just going to set our cruise altitude there. We're sort of struggling at the moment with this wind. And we'll get a nice scenic flight over the Marlborough Sounds, and that's where the Inter-Islander ferry comes down this channel here into Picton. And I'm just going to change my cruise altitude to 10,000 feet. Yeah, we really are being buffeted around by these winds, aren't we? I probably should have climbed a lot higher, but we'll live life on the edge here for a little bit. Enjoy these close-up views of the Marlborough the Marlborough Sounds and the stunning detail, the nice water masking that's found around here. In 2024, we definitely do need to do some VFR flying around here, explore this area close up in the Cessna. Yeah, I am rushing this last little flight of the day, but I've sort of set myself like up a goal kind of thing, but unfortunately the weather's really cleared up now, so the whole reason for doing this flight sort of disappeared somewhat, but we'll smash out the goal for today as we're flying over Nelson, which is arguably considered the most sunniest city in New Zealand. And we definitely do need to do a flight there into Nelson. It's a stunning airport with the with one of these third-party developers that I've got for this airport. And look at the estuary work through there, that's really beautiful. Right, we'll go to heading mode now, and we'll select this up for our outbound. And we'll get our Westport NDB and set up 278. And just for reference, we will 16.9. We'll put that up here just for the meantime. And we'll just speed it up again, do the good old-fashioned warp speed. And I'm going to change that, see if they can do vectoring. And let's see if they will vector us in. And we won't descend yet until we're past this mountain range. Alright, we'll start our descent, eh? And we'll set our... Yep, that. See what I mean? It's hard to know where to put that number sometimes, but we're alive on the NDB, and we'll just set up our... what we had here previously stored. We'll set up... oh no, it goes into here. Set up our Westport NDB just so we know how far we are. And I'm not too sure if they're going to be vectoring us in much, so we'll probably just have to fly it like we requested anyway, just do a visual approach. By the looks of it, this weather is really cleared up here in the South Island, so we will do it in a visual approach unless they give us some vectoring. But yeah, flying over a part of the New Zealand I haven't explored. It looks like some lots of untouched wilderness here. And then you got the which I can imagine that looks like a mine there, doesn't it? I do believe they do a lot of mining on this. Oh, I do have vectoring actually, so we'll go into heading mode and we'll let's give this a go. 240. And we'll get that altitude down a bit more. But yeah, this would definitely be a very turbulently part of the country at the moment with those winds. I'll put our bit of flaps out just to slow it down. Alright, 275. Right. I'm just taking control now and just doing this bit ourselves. Getting to 230. And there's the runway there in sight, so we'll start configuring it up. The vectoring wasn't the best, was it? But that will do. Right, our landing gear can now come down. And we'll use full flaps for this small runway. And I do believe there is a port here, and so this is the slightly annoying thing with the active sky. The yeah, that cloud just came out of nowhere, didn't it? Which is a bit of a... But yeah, that's quite cool seeing the old ship coming into the harbour there. But it's like active sky's just woken up and decided, oh, I'll put some cloud and a bit of rain into the mix, which is good that we have it. Gave us a nice view flying in over the top of the South Island there. And it looks like it's not a very windy day at all here in Westport. And here we are in Westport. We'll just rapidly slow down the plane, take the flaps up. Landing lights and taxi lights can now come off. And we'll start our exit off the runway here. And while we're here, we'll turn off these. Turn off the pitos. We don't need those anymore. Oops. Going off the grass there. Sorry for that, folks. And we'll park with our plane pointing out like that, so the passengers can perfect. That gives the passengers almost straight out into the terminal, because it's getting a bit rainy now. We want to think about our dear passengers, and we'll shut down the engine, see if that bug has disappeared, where it wouldn't let me shut down the engine. Right, those the engine's off. We'll turn off the fuel pumps. We'll engage the ground power. And that concludes our flight today, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for being a part of that flight, and it was a bit rushed at the end, but I really wanted to do it. Almost looked like it was all in vain with the weather, but we had a nice flight heading over Nelson there. And we'll just open up all these doors. And here we are, folks. We're here in Westport, which used to have Sounds Air, but unfortunately Sounds Air lost money. Couldn't carry on with the route, so they had to shut it down. So Westport no longer has a service, but once upon a time these Fokker Friendships used to... It looks like a little navy boat out there, doesn't it? But yeah, once upon a time this airport, Westport, used to have a Fokker Friendship service with NAC and Air New Zealand, and Air New Zealand used to fly their free Air Nelson, the Metroliners, and then when they got retired, the Beech 1900s took over from Eagle Air, and then Eagle Air shut down and Sounds Air took over this route. And unfortunately, due to... they had the numbers there, just supply and demand with engine parts, and the cost of the aircraft that they're using was just astronomical, and Origin Air, another little airline, gave it a go, but they unfortunately didn't provide the proper business hour flights that this area needs, and so they stopped that flight. And yeah, unfortunately there's no service into Westport at the moment, but hopefully one day it returns. But yeah, thanks for joining me on that little series flying around New Zealand during the stormy weather that we've been having, and we'll see you again in the next video. See you later.